Well, hello model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. My name is Revell, and this week I'm going to feature 70 AAR Cuda. This is the one I have been building, if you guys have been watching my channel and watching the progress. This is the newest version of Revell's 1/25th scale AAR Cuda, based on the Hemi Cuda kit. I really enjoyed building this, so I'm hoping you guys enjoy seeing it here. The AAR Cuda, if you're not familiar with it, this was a special homologation package that Plymouth put out to make their race car legal, mainly for the scoop and the spoiler and some of the things like the exhaust. I'm not so sure that they were completely necessary as far as getting it legal for racing. While their race cars were limited to the 5-liter class, so 305 cubic inch engine, the real cars that was offered by Mopar had the 340 cubic inch engine with a 6-pack on it. No other car other than the Challenger TA was offered that way, and it made for an interesting package, and I think, in my opinion, a very balanced car and a very pretty car with the graphics and everything that it has on it. And the AAR Cuda, if you're not familiar with it, AAR is for All American Racers. That's Dan Gurney's racing team. He joined Plymouth, and so they put his logo and that badge on the car with this really attractive strobe stripe. I did do this one in Violet is what Plymouth called it, but it's Plum Crazy. It's the same paint code, FC7 I believe. The AAR Cuda came in just about any color you wanted, and while the package limited the drivetrain, you did get the 340 engine, and you also got staggered tire sizes, which the model kit actually doesn't have. Just one of the small drawbacks, but it looks great, and it builds up really nicely. So when it came to the AAR Cuda, it came with the blackout on the hood and on the top of the fenders, all the way back on the top of the doors and right at the quarter window, blacked out grille, and they all came with the road lamps there in the front. And I believe the chin spoilers right here were an option. A number of them actually got it. And of course the fiberglass hood, the 340 engine. All of them came with an 8 3/4 rear end, so it's right there. And a rear valance panel with no exhaust cutouts, and the blacked out tail panel, just normal Cuda stuff. But other options were not limited. You can pretty much load the interior any way you wanted, interior colors any way you wanted, rim blow steering wheel, or rally gauges, which this one has, or standard gauges, automatic or manual. So it wasn't completely limited, but some of the suspension parts were specific. The exhaust and engine were specific to this package, and I believe made an awesome car. Would love to drive one and see what it's like. And as the reviews say, a very well balanced car. And here, I'll get you a look of the 340 engine. There it is in all of its glory. It says 340 6-pack on there, or 6-barrel. Plymouth said 6-barrel. Dodge, it was 6-pack. And but the decals are pretty accurate, and just about all those decals came right in the kit. I did do a few updates to this thing, so if you've been watching my videos, I did sand the wheel lips because they have a really bright or really what's the word for it? Prominent wheel opening molding. The wheels really stick out, and it just, in my opinion, makes it look funny. So I sanded them down, made them less prominent, and really, makes this thing look pretty good. This spoiler is specific to the AAR Cuda and the TA Challenger, but the AAR Cuda, they're a little bit different. So I changed that on the body. I didn't really change anything else on the body. It's pretty much as it comes. And when it came to the drivetrain, I did mention that I changed out the 8 3/4 rear end. Took out the Dana 60, so I changed that out. So there's a video I have on that. I forgot to fill in the exhaust things. The directions tell you to do that, but I forgot to do it. I went with the full-on over-restored underside of the body here, and I blacked out the mufflers and the pipes, which is how the factory actually did it on most of their cars. There were some unrestored ones where they didn't do a very good job blacking that out. But there are NOS mufflers where they tilted them and Mopar blacked them out. But they laid them on the outlets, so this side of the muffler really didn't get paint because the overspray went that way. So they would paint the whole back of the muffler, but when they stood the muffler down, the manual tranny that this one has. And I really didn't do anything else to the suspension on this thing. Just a little tweaks here and there. On the front valves, you really can't see in there, but I definitely blacked it out in there. Made it less obvious. But I went with the over restored. And you can see my marker lights. They came out pretty good. I actually put foil in there and then put the turn signal amber on the very back edge of it only. But it gives it a really nice effect. Got the Plymouth decal in there. I went under the hood. I changed out the brake booster. It comes with the Hemi brake booster. So I changed that out. I got that from the AMT 71 Charger kit and just glued it right to the firewall. I didn't do any mods to the car other than that. The decals are all from the kit. All the decals on here. And then the air cleaner, it does pop off. There's the carburetors. I didn't do any extra wiring or any extra detail. But one of the things I did do, and I talk about it in my videos, this hose goes to the passenger side in the kit, which is correct for a big block car, but it's not correct for a 340 or small block car. It would go to the driver's side. So I did change that, but I did do, a way I did do that was I have a little insert video, so I'll cut to that, and you can see exactly how I did that. And but I did use the kit part, and I did modify it, and it was a pretty simple modification. It ended up being easier than I thought it was going to be. So we'll cut to that, and you can see that. So I have mentioned that the radiator hose on this goes to the wrong side on the small block here. They have it go from here to the passenger side, which is incorrect. Here's another radiator that is not modified, and you can see it goes, when you turn it around, it's on the passenger side, which is correct for a big block car, which, like I said, this tooling came from the big block cars, and then they converted it over to the small block AAR Cuda. So I filled that hole, but I didn't drill a new one, and I was going to make a hose using Detail Master wire, but then I decided I would take the existing hose, and then also I had the carburetors glued on, and it's hard to get there because the carburetors actually cover the hole, and they tell you to glue these on afterwards, so I popped these back off. That's what happens when you're not following directions. And here's a hose from the big block car, and you can see when you put it down, it goes down. Now, Revell did tool up a new radiator hose for the 340 engine, but they did keep it going to the same side of the radiator. So all I did was I took, here's the radiator hose that they give you, and I basically just cut the end off and flipped it 180 so that, you know, it would be pointing upwards like that if it was mounted the other side. So I just cut the end off, flipped it 180, and glued it on this way to have the hose come this way instead of go back that way, basically. So then I just did that, glued it together, and then lightly sanded it. And now, and also the little stud right there, I sanded that off because I didn't drill a hole. So now it just goes right in there, and she lines right up, and I just glue it right to the radiator. So pretty simple, especially, you know, I'm using the hose that was provided. All I did, like I said, cut the end, flip it 180 so that it goes this direction. So she's looking good. I'll paint it black and continue detailing this, but I wanted to show you before I finished it what I did to correct the hose, since I used the actual kit hose. So I will continue on, but this is a little insert on how I did that. And then after that, we'll put this all back together, and we will, if I can get the air cleaner on here, okay, and then underside of the hood's blacked out. Hood hinges are body color, which is how they were from Mopar. The whole engine compartment is body color, and it slides together really nicely. I did the entire interior in white. I put the seat belts on there, dressed out the black rear panel, which is correct, with the white headliner. So the headliner's in there white, sun visors. You can see the dome light in there, and the mirrors. And really happy with the way this came out. And I detailed the tires and wheels. I used the white transfers on the tires here, which are old Shabu ones. Shabo, I think that's how you say it. I wish I could get some more of those, but I don't have any more. But I've had a number of them, so I'm running low. I'd love to find some more. Glued those lights in. They're kind of funky to get them in there, and then the chin spoilers. But I'm really happy with the way this thing came out. and she's a looker. But if you follow my channel, let me back this out just a little bit, you'll know that just last year, this is the newest kit. And then I built this one right here. Now you've seen that one on my channel. I did a full feature on it. That's the previous issue, which I did in B5 blue, which is Blue Fire. And I did do the staggered tire sizes because this is Revell and they do make it. But that's a 124 scale kit. And she's a beauty. Get that up there. And then also got this one right here, which this is the 1995 issue, the first one that Revell came out with. And I did this one in yellow. So there's that one. And then the last, or my first one, right here. Now I really haven't featured those two. Maybe I'll do a full feature on that one. This is actually a trans kit bash from the aftermarket from way back then. Let's see if I can move these back and get them all in the shot. Okay. Which all of these have their inaccuracies, but this one is actually the 71 Cuda with the monogram Challenger TA all kit bashed together with a vacuum formed hood. Now this is a very old build of mine, and I did freshen it up, kind of, not really a restoration, but I had tweaked it many years ago, 15 years ago or more. So when I took it apart and touched it up and redid it. But there's all my AAR Cudas, which, as you can tell, it's one of my favorite kits because I got so many of them. Just a car I really like. But I don't know if any of you guys have built this many of the same one. I kind of have. So like I got 4 of this one, and I've got I think 4 of the 4 Thunderbolts that I've done. I've done 4 of that one, and I think there's a couple others that I may have done more than 4 of, but definitely a favorite subject of mine. Love the Trans Am series cars, and I hope you do too. So thank you for tuning in and subscribing and watching. I appreciate it, and all of your comments. Love to hear what you think about this car. Been a good one for me and a fun one for me. And of course you can see with 4 different variants of pretty much the same car. But thanks for tuning in and subscribing, and hit that bell button and like and thumbs up. That makes the algorithms go kind of crazy. Appreciate it. You guys, you have a wonderful day.